Well, good morning, YouTubers. We bring it back to you once again. Your boy JJ right here. Before we get started, I just want to take and tell you what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be touching base on Secondlife. Everybody's kind of curious to find out what's going on with Secondlife, but we're going to roll this B-roll for you, and then we're going to come back and we're going to get it started. So stick around and stay tuned and don't touch that dial. Well, welcome back. Okay, the thing is this. The main game I play is right here on Secondlife. Okay, this is my character right here. This is Ghost, my character, aka JJ, and that's me. Okay, as you can see, if you look down here at the FPS, it says 22. That's because I clicked off screen. Okay, now when I click on screen, watch the FPS. Okay, the baseline of the FPS is 22 to 29. Okay, and the max going right now I got on this FPS is between 330 and 370 FPS, just to let you know. Okay, now this game is 3D World game, and I stick in between it basically, and this is on the AMD Ryzen 5 5600G. Okay, now I'm putting this video out there for them naysayers that tell me that, you know, you can't get FPS out of integrated graphics. Well, I hate to say you're wrong. Okay, this is the one processor everybody doesn't really talk about. Okay, this processor is only $130. And from what I see with integrated graphics, it doesn't look half bad. I mean, to me, when it comes to the games I play, this is the kind of game that you want a lot of FPS, and trust me, the processor is only at 128 degrees Fahrenheit, and it says CPU 128, 130 degrees Fahrenheit right in front of you, and it's only being 20% utilized. The GPU is at 117 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's between 99% and 100%. But the megahertz is 2300 megahertz. That's the GPU. And the memory clock is at 1800 megahertz. Okay, and the CPU frequencies are staying at about between 38 and 4500 megahertz. The RAM being utilized only to about maybe 5500 megs. Let's say 5.4 to 5.5 gigs of VRAM. So overall, truthfully, okay, for them naysayers and everything else that doesn't believe that this processor with just on an asus motherboard, believe this. This motherboard is the Asus B450 M/AII. Okay, that's it. And it's got 16 gigabytes of Corsair Vengeance DDR4 RAM, match set. It's only 2 sticks. It works. And the hard drive is the crucial P2 1 terabyte hard drive. It's the M.2. Everything's been pre-configured the way I want it. Almost 90% of the BIOS settings are set at pretty much auto. I got a couple that are not set at auto, like the VRM, the Digi VRM. I set that to extreme. I set the video to extreme. I do not have the XMP on, but I do have PBO on, and it's set to auto. If you're wondering, it's just set to auto. So basically the system is turboed out to where it needs to be, and it doesn't crash, it doesn't have any problems, and it runs fine. So, you know, if I grab my cursor around, see, the response time is great response time. Okay, walking around, it's not glitchy or anything else. You know, it's not glitchy. Y'all can watch the fire over here. As you can see, it's not glitchy or anything else. It's running just fine. Now, I know this is not intense graphics or anything else, but going into a club, I still stay between 70 and 100 FPS, which on this game, it really is really hard to stay at that FPS. Okay, so not a lot of people on this game have that kind of FPS. They don't have this kind of FPS right here. They do not have this kind of FPS. A lot of people on this game do not have this kind of FPS. And the only reason I'm getting this kind of FPS is because I have the system balanced. Now, if you didn't have your system balanced, then there's going to be a little bit of a problem, because you'll get more crashes and basically it just wouldn't be right. Also, too, just to let you know, I'm going to be doing a show up on Second Life. It's going to be in a separate folder. It's going to be on this YouTube site, JJ's PC Builds. I'm going to be hosting a small talk show as well right here in Second Life for all you Second Lifers, just to first say. But anyway, all you Second Lifers that know me, you know what time it is, you know where the party is and how much fun we always have, but you know how it goes. And yes, this is a 3D game in a 3D world. So, look, the proof is in the pudding. Look at my numbers there. I've showed you guys my system. If you watch my previous videos all the way through, you'll see that my system is everything I'm telling you it is. I video edit on this system. I play games on this system. I play Steam. I play Second Life. Those are only two that I really play. You know, Steam Eve, Second Life, and that's it. Okay, I understand, you know, this is a building channel. You know, where you build PCs and everything else. That's coming. I do have some things in the works, so y'all have to stay tuned for future videos and how that's going to work. But anyway, you all were wondering what kind of FPS I was getting here in Second Life. It's right in front of you. That's the reason why I pulled it right there in front of you, to show you exactly the FPS I'm getting. I'm getting no artifacting, I'm getting nothing. And if I could pull over 300 FPS in a game on integrated graphics from a 16 megabyte L3 cache CPU, could you imagine what I can do on the Ryzen 7, was it Ryzen 7 5700G? See, it's not hard, you know, if you want to, if you're the kind of person that wants to save money, right? And I'm going to tell you, look at me, and I'm going to tell you, right here, I'm going to tell you, if you want to save money on graphics cards and everything else, then go integrated graphics. If you play these kind of games and you know you're on Second Life and you're wondering how you can get all these wonderful speeds and everything else, well then just let me know in the comment below. If you're a Second Lifer, I can give you tips and tricks on how to get these kind of speeds and hold them to close to what you need without having any issues. I kind of worked at all the problems out, a lot of testing and everything on Second Life, so this is where I'm at. Going from a 3rd gen system to now, this seems like this is awesome to me. And for me to get these kind of speeds, I am impressed with this processor. This processor is a monster to me. And if it's a monster to me, could you imagine what it can do for the next guy? Especially being the processor is only $130. The motherboard's only $79. The RAM's only $54. The hard drive is only $69. So add up all those numbers right there, and that tells you what kind of PC you could have to run here on Second Life. And if you need a power supply again, you can get them for $54. A 750 watt power supply for $54. The case, $49. The case fans, $37. And the CPU heatsink with fan, $23. So add all that up and you'll have a full PC. Now if you want to get a gaming mouse and keyboard, $37. You want to get a headset, a good headset, $29. You know, add it all up. I mean, you can keep, if you want it fully gaming, and if you want a 1080p monitor, $100. And you can get the 1080p monitor from Walmart for $100. Okay, so add it all up and you'll see that you'll get a decent level entry gaming PC for what I just told you on the price. Because if you want to add it all up, we can take and go to the calculator and bring it over to you and say, okay, well, let's look at the calculator. Okay, so he paid $79 for the motherboard. he paid $130 for the iGPU processor. Okay, so, and you paid $54 for the RAM. Okay, and I paid $69 for the NVMe M.2 drive. Okay, so, and the CPU heatsink paid $27 for. Okay, so we covered pretty much the motherboard. Now you go to the fan case for $49. Alrighty, seems like I did that wrong. Let's try it again. Let's say the $79 for the motherboard. Let's say $130 for the... Yes, I screwed up. Okay, so motherboard, CPU, and we're at a plus sign, 54 for the RAM. Okay, let's see the hard drive. We said 69. Okay, the CPU heatsink said 27. Okay, and we have the RAM, we have all that. Okay, the case, $49 for the case, and $37 for the fans. The reason why I did the fans, and case separate was because I wanted to pick out my own fans. So if I got a $49 case, I can pick out my own fans that I want, that I know is going to run. So I got a 6-pack of fans, which has a separate remote and everything else, to where I can control the fans, and it's not on the motherboard. I didn't want any kind of lighting display on the motherboard because that takes away the power of the from the motherboard, I think. So, and we add on 54 for the power supply. So, and if we add on 30, let's say 37 for the keyboard and mouse, and we add on 100 for the monitor. So that's the total build. That's from A to Z. That's the monitor, that's the keyboard, mouse, CPU, everything. So it comes down to this much. But let's say you already had the case, so you might as well minus 49 from the case, since you've already had the case. Okay, let's say you already had the power supply, right? So you minus the 54. And let's say you already had the fans, so you might as well minus the 37. Okay, which I did, so, you know, and I already had the keyboard and mouse, so take 37 off. So, and I already had the heat sink. So basically, with having the additional parts from my old system, I incorporated it into the new system, as you can see. So, If it comes down to it, you know, let's say $450 for an upgrade. Just for say. But that all depends on what you want to do. I mean, there are ways to go cheaper. Alright, I'm going to say that. There is ways to go cheaper. But you can always upgrade in the long run. See, with having this B450 motherboard from asus, I can always upgrade the processor to the Ryzen 7 5700G. I can go all the way up to, let me remember, the Ryzen 9 should be, don't quote me on it until I have tested this, but should be compatible. A Ryzen 9 CPU should be compatible to this. So if you're looking for a budget motherboard, you can always go from the B450 to the B550. This is the Prime motherboard. It's the Asus Prime. You can always go from the B450 to the B550. So if you do the B550 for, say, you could get better level of performance, or, you know, it could unlock more features, but I seen the features that were on the B550 compared to this 450, and I still think, and I'm going to stand behind this B450 motherboard, I think, still has more features than the B550. Everybody says that this doesn't have PCIe 4.0. Wrong. This motherboard does have PCIe 4.0. It's just where you didn't least expect it. You know, they say, well, the hard drive needs PCIe 4.0. Actually, no, you don't. PCIe 3.0 or greater will work with this motherboard. Okay? Now, this motherboard has one feature. The PCIe slot X16 is PCIe 4.0, and I've tested this out because the integrated graphics on this is PCIe 4.0. Now everybody's sitting there saying, no, it can't be. Well, what we're going to do is this. We're going to prove the naysayers wrong. What we're going to do is we're going to pull up CPU-Z, and we're going to see what it actually does and what it actually says. Now, are you ready for this? Let me pull it over to you. Read what it says here. PCI Express 4.0. PCI Express 4.0. Read it really carefully. It gives us a current link speed of X16 at 8.0 GTs, max supported at X16 at 16.0 GTs. Okay, now right here is graphic interface. Right here. If you don't believe me, get your own processor, get your own motherboard, and set it up just the way I set it up right here, and try it yourself with CPU-Z. PCIe right here. PCI Express 4.0. And that's coming off the integrated graphics. Now you see the difference between 3.0 and 4.0. This I'm running at 4.0. Okay, and the memory right here. There's your memory clocks right here, right down to the last itty bitty. Right here, DDR4, 16 gigabytes. Right here, NB frequency. Shows you everything you need to know. All the naysayers and the ones that don't believe that it's running at what it needs to be. Well, there it is. And there's the graphics right there. There's the graphics. See that? It says 2 GB, 2 gigabytes. The core 2300 megahertz. Memory 1800. Right here. And if you want to benchmark it, we can benchmark it. There. We'll benchmark it and you can see. And that's with this game running. We'll benchmark it. Look at that. Look at that score. And you know what? Before I started, that was half that. Now, that right there is a CPU-Z score. 4604.4 and single-threaded 601.7. That is equal to, let's find out what it's equal to. Oh, I don't think it's equal to that. Don't think it's equal to that. Don't think it's equal to that. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. We're going to find out what it's equaled out to. That's what we're going to do. Let's see. And that one was the Ryzen 7 1700 8-core processor that we were clicked on. And that's 3905. Let's go up to the X. Let's see what the X does. It still ain't the 1700X Ryzen 7. Let's see what the 1800 does. Oh, we are close. So let's just for say the Ryzen 7 1800X 8-core 16 threads. This Ryzen 5 5600G is equal to. Okay, so the Ryzen 7 1800X has a score of 4542 and a single thread of 400, as the 5600G Ryzen 5 5600G has a score of 4604.4 and single thread at 601.7. Now, this is a step up. Could you imagine if I had the 5700G? Think about it. Let's see, let's just for giggles, let's go and see if it matches up with the 2700X. Multi-thread, not so good. Single thread, still holding strong. So single thread, Ryzen 7 2700G is still holding strong. So you all get the point. You all get the point on this. Ryzen for Ryzen, it's equaled up to, on an average, the 2700X. And that's with the discrete graphics card. So processor to processor, Ryzen 5 5600G is a bad processor. It's not bad in a bad way, it's bad in a good way. So it's, to me, I'm holding continuous, and you can see the FPS hold continuous. But anyway, this video is getting way too long. It's almost at 30 minutes. But anyway, like and subscribe. And if you want to become a part of the family, make sure you definitely subscribe. And that way, you know, you'll see all the up-to-date videos, and ring that bell down below and you'll be all safe. But until the next time in the next video, we will see you then.